Alright, now today we are going to learn how to balance a chemical equation. So here we have a chemical equation. It's actually a combustion reaction. And basically what we have happening here is that we have two carbons, four hydrogens, reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what's on each side and separate your reactants from your products. So you're going to actually draw a line under the arrow, and that's going to separate the reactants, which are on the left. I'm just going to draw it up here, just so we remember what is what. And it's going to separate from your products, which is on the right. Okay? So we draw this line here, and that's going to separate the two sides. It just makes it visually a lot easier. It's just a simple step to add. Then we're going to draw what's called the particulate model for each of these compounds. So C2H4. So the little subscript numbers here tell you how many of each atom you have. So it just tells me I have 2 carbons and 4 hydrogens. So I'm going to do 2 carbons, CC, and 4 hydrogens, so 4 H's. And then, I can't forget this step, I'm going to put a box around it, and that is going to be my particulate model for C2H4. Then I'm going to do oxygen, and I have a 2 here, so that tells me I have 2 oxygens. I'm going to do OO, put a box around it. Next, CO2. So that means I have 1 carbon, 2 oxygens, put a box around it. And then H2O means I have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, put a box around it. Okay, so that is my particulate model, and that's kind of the next step we want to do is we want to draw one particulate model for each compound so that we can visually see what is on each side of the equation. Now remember, to balance equations we need to follow the law of conservation of mass, which means that everything that we start with we also have to end with, because all that's happening is that the atoms are getting rearranged. So on the left there, our reactants, everything we started with has to be equal to everything on the right, our products. So we're going to look at the elements that we have individually and figure out what we need more of on either side and add more until they balance. So I always say start with anything except hydrogen and oxygen. Save hydrogen and oxygen for last. So in this case, the only other thing we have is carbon. So I'm going to look at the carbon. I have 2 carbons on the left and I have 1 carbon on the right. So where do I need more? I need more on the right here. So I'm going to add another COO. I can't just add a carbon because I have to add it as CO2 again. I'm going to add the whole box again. And now I'm going to double check. Okay, carbons, I had 2 on the left, now I have 2 on the right. So carbons are good. Then you can either pick H or O to do next. Remember I said save those 2 for last, so I'm just going to do H next. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 H's on the left, and I have 2 H's on the right. So where do I need more? On the right.